whole family is here. That is folks from the Falls, and we've been having a good time today. We had a good dinner, and we should have been there to help us enjoy it. And we're getting, the other folks have gone out walking a little bit. I thought I'd start with the tape, and then you can, the rest of them can finish it. We certainly enjoyed that tape of yours, and Singapore, whatever it is, we certainly enjoyed all of that. I saw her, made me think of the time I was over in that section, and I could just picture it. Picture it as you were walking along, talking and telling us. I find it's a little hard to talk. I had such a good dinner. It was full of dinner, and that don't give you very much inspiration to talk when you have a dinner. Why, Leona and Mama are in the room, and after I'm through, I'll give it over to them. And it certainly was interesting, the things that you brought into the tape. And I enjoyed it oh so much. I'll be talking after a little bit again, Jack. So I think I'll give it over to Leona and let her talk to you a little bit.
Hi, Jack. I'm so glad that I have the chance to be here when the folks are making your tape so that I could put my little 2 cents worth in. As Daddy mentioned to you, we're down in York visiting the folks for the weekend. We've been trying to get Judy and Jim down here ever since they were married last February, so Daddy and Mother could meet Jim, their new grandson-in-law. But there was a combination of Leonard working quite often weekends and on Saturdays, and it just seemed hard to get down. But finally we have made it, and this was certainly the most beautiful time of the year to make the trip from Niagara Falls to York. If you'll remember, if you've ever taken that trip during the fall season of the year, the foliage is at its peak, and it's just gorgeous. Through the hills of New York State and then through the mountains of Pennsylvania, the scenery was just breathtaking. I don't know whether you ever get that type of foliage in the Philippines, changing. I don't think you have the change of seasons as we do, but I don't think there's any beauty equal to the fall beauty of the changing of trees and foliage. And we really did enjoy the trip down here. And Mother and Daddy had a chance to meet Jim, and Judy's having a wonderful time. She hasn't been here in 3 years, so it's kind of nice for her to get back. And we're really, really enjoying this few days with the folks. Daddy's coming along very well, and we're really pleased with the way he gets around. We went to church this morning, and Daddy did very well, and it's just like old times being in New York. I just wish that it were possible for you and your family and Anna Mary and her family to be here so that we could have a real family get-together. But, of course, with the distance of miles, those things are impossible. But it's still nice to have a chance to talk to you. And it was wonderful hearing your voice on the tape that you sent to the folks. We listened to it yesterday, and as Daddy said, you just felt as though we were right with you as you were walking along and coming out of your office and walking along the street, and we heard all the noises and sounds. And it was just great. It was almost like being face-to-face with you to hear your voice. It certainly is a wonderful invention, this tapes, because one could never write letters that would cover the things or have the same feeling that tapes have, because it's just like seeing somebody, the closest thing to seeing somebody in person when you can talk on the tapes. And it was certainly very, very good to hear from you, Jack, and to hear all about your family. Everything in Niagara Falls is very good. DeVoe School has changed its program, and we are a school now for children with learning disabilities, and our children now have behavioral disorders too, so it's the most interesting and never a dull moment type of thing at school. And also, Anne was not able to get a full-time teaching job. She's been trying for the last couple of years and has her name in, but with the decreasing population that we seem to be having in the cities and so many teachers, it's really difficult to get teaching positions now, particularly somebody who has had the experience that Anne has, because they are on a higher pay scale, and a lot of the educational systems are cutting down as much as possible, and they will oftentimes hire somebody just out of college so they don't have to pay them as much. It doesn't seem fair because Anne is a wonderful teacher, but she did do some substituting last year and would have probably gotten a few odd jobs this year, but substituting jobs are few and far between, and it doesn't give you very much cash. So my boss asked her this summer if she would be interested in coming and working at DeVoe as a receptionist and just doing a little bit of everything, because she has helped out many times when I have been on vacation. She's come to the school and answered phones and done that sort of thing. So she's familiar with the procedures there, and everybody likes her very much. And she started working at the school when school started, and she's over in another building working near the principal's office, and she answers the telephones and she does typing. And for the past week or two, they've been having her test children, which has to be done by a certified teacher, so she's getting a little bit of the teaching in. The youngsters like her very much, and they come to her office, and she, you know Anne, how well she is with youngsters, so I think that even though she isn't a full-time school teacher, she's getting a part of helping youngsters, and she just loves it because, as she says, there's never a dull moment. And also, I think it's a little better for her because when she is teaching, she used to bring home so many papers to correct and reports for parents, and sometimes she'd be working until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. But this way, and when she comes home from her job at DeVoe, she has nothing at all to do at home, so she can kind of rest and relax. And I think until she does get into a full-time teaching job, I think this is a wonderful change for her. And of course, it's nice to have a regular paycheck coming in too. Well, as Daddy mentioned, we just finished a very delicious dinner here at Jessie's. She had both roast duck and roast chicken and all the trimmings, and you know what a good cook Jessie is. So I think all of us just ate a little bit too much, kind of overindulged. But we thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's nice to come back to some of this Pennsylvania Dutch cooking. There are certain little touches that Jessie has that revert back more to the Pennsylvania Dutch type of cooking than I have gone along with in my many years away from here. As a matter of fact, Leonard and I celebrated our 35th wedding anniversary last month. So we're really getting up there, Jack. It makes you really feel old when you come back here and realize that it was almost 40 years ago since I left York to go to Niagara Falls. It was in 1936, and which makes it 38 years to be exact. So 38 years added to the age that I was when I left makes me no youngster. But I do thank God for my good health and for my family and for so many things. We had a wonderful sermon in church which brought out the fact that we have so much to be thankful for, and even though the situation in our country leaves much to be desired, I think we as individuals have so much to thank God for. And we do appreciate just being here with family and having other members of the family that we love. Even though they're far away from us, we think of them so often. And I might be a little remiss sometimes in writing as often as I should, Jack. And I think that even though you and I don't correspond as often as we might, we think of each other. And you are remembered in our thoughts and in our prayers so many times. I don't want to keep this too long. Mother's sitting here. I'll let her talk to you. But I just wanted to mention that when I went through Aunt Jenny's things, I found a letter that you had written Aunt Anna in 1945. And I saved it out, and when I get back home, I'm going to drop you a line, and I'll send that letter along with it. You might enjoy reading it. I think you might do a little bit of reminiscing when you look back to that time, nearly 30 years ago. Well, I'm going to turn this over to Mother now and let her talk to you, and I think eventually you'll probably be hearing from the rest of the family. Bye for now. Hi, Jack. That was Daddy clapping. That wasn't me. I was just sitting here. How are you? And I hope you're well. And we're just fine and dandy. And we're enjoying the children here. We're having a wonderful time. And you really would like Judy's husband, Jim. He's just a wonderful fellow. Now, he's quiet, but he's so nice. And you would like him a lot when you meet him. And we were so glad to get your tape. That was very interesting. Of course, the one nice thing on tape, you talk a little bit slow. Of course, you know how slow I talk. I'm quite a fast talker, of course, you know that. And we're all well. And another thing is, the weather here is beautiful for this time of year. We've had, I think, just one frost, one night, quite a little frost, but not too much. But, of course, it killed some things. But we still have products. Then today we had Harvest Home in the church. Remember that, Jack, years ago when they had Harvest Home? You children used to love it, but especially if there was a big dish of grapes in the front, I remember, especially those big Malaga grapes. You children loved it. Well, now they had a wonderful Harvest Home in our church today. On each side of our platform, they had tables with food for the preacher. And I do love those Harvest Home because in our days, it meant a lot to us. And I know in your days, you remember those too. And the different people at church want to be remembered. I got a little cough. You remember the people in the church, how they asked about you. Mrs. Knob was one especially. Mrs. Fickus asked about you, and different ones that know you have asked about you. And I tell you, we saw George Rohrbaugh. He was in church today, and Dale. I don't know if you remember little Dale Rohrbaugh. That's Sir Andy's little brother, and they were there, and they all asked about you. And we have, what did you say, Daddy? Oh, yes, I'm to tell you that George Rohrbaugh's son, Dale, George Rohrbaugh's brother, rather, Dale, has a mustache. And we had the folks out last night to supper out at the corral. Is that what they call it? At the Ponderosa. We had them out for supper. And right beside us, this young fellow sat there with I dare say, a mustache that looked like handlebars, you know. And then he got talking, and here this was Dale Rohrbaugh, Sir, and his brother. And I wouldn't know that mustache. I wouldn't know him at all. And then different ones in the church asked after you, and our preacher always remembers you. And they've been praying for you different times. Now I don't know what to do unless they shut this off and have whatever they want next. So, now wait, here comes Daddy. Oh. Here he is.
All right, Jack, they did pretty well, I think, don't you? And I don't know whether I'll do so much talking. I think about we'd better shut this off after a while, and Mother is going to play. The girls want Mother to play, and you'll enjoy that, of course. And they're motioning for me. What is it you want?
Mother wanted me to shut it off for you when you finish.
Oh, she's showing that want to cut it off when I'm finished. Did you put it up?
No, don't. You turn it off. Did you turn it up? Now, do you want it off now?
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on now. Push that thing down when you want it off.
Oh, I see.
Okay?
I got an idea of it. And it was just the other way. I thought maybe I don't like to be talking and nothing happening. And it seems it's a waste of my breath and a waste of my voice. But it was great for that. You're talking, walking along and talking. I could just imagine you walking and talking. Just imagine walking along with you and you showing me things. Well, I guess, Mother, what do you want?
I forgot to tell you, Jack. I put this in my ear. Daddy did the same thing. So I tell you, we were at the market house yesterday, Jack, and Jack looked so nice there, seeing all these produce there. They had the people there, and You got so many friends, and they've asked you, especially that lady that had that stand right across from me. And different ones that knew you, they all asked how you were, and I told them that you're well. Now, I guess we'll shut off for now, then we'll find some more later on. All right, Jack.
Hi, Jack and Linda. This is Leonard, and I'm sitting here in Dave's front room watching a football game. It's quite a game that's going on, and I still enjoy football. We've had a very nice weekend together. We've visited and gone around New York to just about every place that there is, and we've had a very good time all the way around. I got my son-in-law down here with me, of course, and Judy, and they have met the folks for the first time, or the son-in-law has. I hope this finds all you folks well, and I hope that things are going good for you. They have been very well for us, and we are very thankful that we have been allowed to enjoy the things that we have in life. Well, I'm going to stop talking now and turn this over to somebody else. I hope that everything goes well for you and yours, and hope to see you one of these days soon.
Hi, Uncle Jack. This is Joe. How are you? We're all staying out in front of the house here, just freezing to death without any coats on. There's a cat just standing down there beside Jim.
Well, now, where did you get the cat? Explain about the cat.
We found this cat running around over in the weeds, and Doris insisted we bring it over here to the house. This weekend, her cousin's down from Canada, Jim and Judy. Would you like to say something, Judy?
Hi, Uncle Jack. How are you? Oh, we're having a great time down here. This is Jim. Maybe he just wants to say something to you. Go ahead, Uncle Jack.
Hi, this is Jim from Canada.
What are you going to say?
Enjoying the good old...
Yeah, we're really having a good time down here, and we're going back tomorrow morning. Oh, this cat. Well, I don't know who's next to talk. It's either going to be Lois or Doris, and they're arguing here, so I'll just, here, Doris.
Hi, Uncle Jack. This isn't Doris. This is Lois, because I'm more nervy than Doris. Here comes Michael. I'm going to have him say hi to you.
Say hi, Uncle Jack.
Say hi, Uncle Jack. Hi. Michael is almost 4.5 now, and Matthew is 1.5 years old. Matthew's napping right now. Michael's holding the new cat, which I'm afraid we're going to end up keeping, which I really didn't want to do. Everybody's trying to pass it around. It's kind of a pathetic little cat. It has a broken ear, but I guess it fits in with the. So I guess it sort of fits in with the rest of our family.
I don't think it's a Tom.
Here's Doris to say hello.
Hi, Uncle Jack. I really didn't push the cat on them. They came over and they took it from me.
That's a lie.
Let me say something. A cat wasn't anywhere.
Okay, no, I'll get my chance to talk later. Give it back to Joe.
Can you turn it off? This is Joe signing off from Dover.